Welcome to another episode of Queen 3 and King. We were on time. We've been doing the show for the last 3 minutes, but we had some technical difficulties. You can count on these pieces of equipment and stuff like that. I had nothing to do with it. So our apologies for being a little late, but we done had a good show already. I don't know what y'all was doing. Anyway, again, welcome to another episode of Queen 3 and King, where our topic is first choice or best option.
Yes.
Which one are you? Do you know? Which would you rather be? We're going to find out today, and some of you may not want the answer to that question anyway, because your little feelings might be hurt. Anyway, what?
Baby. I'm just getting ready. Baby.
You ain't from Louisiana. Anyway, we come to you with love, peace, and nobility, a little sense of humor, and a touch of ratchetness. There are some on the panel who have been known to twerk, and there are some on the panel who've been known to shout. So either way, we got it covered.
Or all of both.
From preachers to pimps, right? And now it's time to introduce you to our co-host. And starting first out of East Garland, Texas, standing at 5'2" 3/4 inches tall, Skinny Minnie, Boney Maroney, Coco, Darling Nikki, the glamour herself. Say hi to the people, Queen.
Hi, guys. I'm excited to be back.
She's back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You missed the show last week, huh?
She's back.
Yep.
Well, we kind of, sort of hated not having you on last week, but we're glad to have you back.
You're going to be glad that we actually are live right now.
Okay. Now, you don't want to tell us anything that happened on your vacation? Nothing that we need to know about?
No, we just had a great time celebrating Kyler's 21st birthday.
Okay.
That's it.
You didn't come back pregnant, did you?
Oh,
my. Well, at least I haven't got the results back yet.
Oh, wow.
She's still looking on the blood test.
So we know when an old dude have a baby, they say the baby come out looking old. What if the lady real old?
Oh, my goodness.
What if the baby come out looking
I am not old. I am young and vibrant.
All right. And next, the Queen of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the educator, Meba, standing at 5'3" 1/4 inch tall. Since our last checkup.
All right.
What up, Queen?
All right. I was 5'4" in my last checkup. Thank you. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You must have had your shoulders up like this, Queen.
But when they said stand up, I know like this. Dr. Parnell said, "Oh my."
Did you say hi to the people, or you just started talking now?
Hey y'all, so glad that y'all are here.
Your voice sounds like you wear a husky size in jeans. All right. And last but not least, out of Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The Okie from Muskogee, standing at 5'3" inches tall, even.
I don't know.
Lily, Blake mama. What up, Queen?
What up, everybody? Glad to be back.
Wow, you sound like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
right.
God.
And
just
as always,
go on.
we in the house and out of the family.
I ain't
You
reading.
must got on a cowboy boots or something today.
Howdy.
Howdy, Amy.
All right, name of reason, hey family. How y'all doing? So we have an interesting topic today. Again, first choice or best option.
Mm-hmm.
And to get this kicked off, we'll go around the room and ask what you would rather be and why. Now, again, we always talk about the shows that we have from time to time. There are going to be some controversial topics, and there's going to be some differences of opinion. There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever there are some differences of opinion on this topic already. When we first posted that this was going to be our topic, we immediately had comments rolling. So I expect some healthy debate. Now, again, we encourage that debate. Again, I think too often we do not create an atmosphere of comfortable disagreement. People can disagree, and one of the other things that we encourage is for you to listen to understand, not listen to respond. That's more important, and keep an open mind. You might just learn something. about yourself or about sleeping with the enemy? Just kidding.
Jeez.
All right. So
Oh,
we're gonna start with the person who had the first response in Queen3 and King. When we put this topic out, we're gonna go to Darling Nikki and see which she would rather be, his first choice or his best option. On you.
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot, and Ken and I have never had the conversation. So we had the conversation. So what? And I asked the question, the same question you just asked the audience about how he felt whenever we met, whenever he decided was I his first choice or was I his best option? And he said that I was both. So for various reasons. Listen, let me finish. Listen, for various reasons. However, yes, we have all been in multiple relationships before we settle down with that one person, right or wrong.
Right.
So all of us will never be somebody's first choice. I mean, his favorite, first choice. None of us would be the first one, right? Unless you dated him first. I'm just saying. We've all been somebody's second choice, third choice, fourth choice. Right?
All right, I'm gonna clap on that part of it, but the part I'm not gonna clap on is brother-in-law saying you was both.
Oh yeah, he said it.
Let me say this.
And he can bag it up.
Shit. That wasn't. How long y'all been married?
20 years.
And that's what he's learned in 20 years. He is nobody's fool. That dude done learned something.
You can't tell me otherwise.
For you young brothers out there who ain't been married that long or who ain't married yet, learn that lesson. She asked a question. That's like asking, do these jeans make my butt look big? And you don't say
he said yes to that question.
You don't say, no, those jeans don't make your butt look big. Your butt make your butt look big. You answer the question, not at all. So he knows what
my
to do.
man told the truth.
And he was sharp with it. He didn't hesitate or nothing, did he?
Yeah, he did.
He
did.
Hesitated?
No, I'm just playing.
Wow.
No, he outright said it. When I asked, he told me that. So who am I not to believe him? Because I am quite a catch.
Yeah, he good.
Do you agree?
That boy good.
So Nikki, on the second part of what you said you were nobody's first choice.
At this,
well,
meaning if you at whatever age we are, right?
At whatever age.
I think we can take everybody on this panel.
Right.
We've they've dated tons of people. We've dated tons of people.
Exactly.
At this point, it's virtually impossible to be anybody's first choice at this age. That's the point you're making, and I happen to concur with that.
Take that tons off me, bro. Though. Take that tons off me.
Well, you got that rap on today. So Lily, you asked that question. What do you got?
I'm just asking, like with her saying that, how did Kenny say that you both then?
Huh? No, I'm just saying that.
I'm just playing.
No, seriously. But if you really think about it, and as at our age and stuff, you're not there. You've not always been as somebody's first choice,
right?
Somebody's second or third choice. And I wasn't expecting for him to say that I was both.
Yeah, you knew that was a lie, huh?
No, I didn't know it was a lie. I know it wasn't a lie. It was the truth. Look at me.
All right. Okay.
I get it from my mama.
All right now.
Wow. All right. Next, we're gonna go to the educator and see what it is that she thinks about this question. Would you rather be his first choice or his best option?
I'm going to, I guess I looked at it from in a different lens, meaning if he was dating 3 people at one time.
That's how I looked at it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm going to choose, and you're my first choice.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it.
I guess that's how I looked at it. The way Nikki looked at it is true. I mean, that could be true in her case. Yeah. But the way I looked at it, if I'm out here dating 2 or 3 people, and I say I'm going to settle down, I'm going to pick somebody to date exclusively, and I want to move towards marriage with this person. And if he said, oh, girl told me no, so you were my best option, I'd be like, I'm good. I wasn't your first choice. You're going with me because I was left in the picking. Like, you just going with me because you didn't have anybody else to choose from. So that's why I said best choice.
Well, even in that scenario, let me break this down to you. In that scenario, he's dating 3 or 4, and he's ready to settle down, and he's about to make a decision. And you said you'd rather be his first choice other than his best option. You'd rather be his first choice and not his best option. Even in that scenario, right? Your first choice.
Oh no!
Oh my!
He having all the issues.
He probably hitting a button trying to make all these points with his hands like
there you go.
That's the wrong thing. So even in that scenario, did y'all hear me say, "Oh Lord," when I did? Yeah. So even in that scenario, right? You want to be his first choice may not be the best choice or the best option, right? Because it may be based on whatever, right? It may be, she the finest, she got the best job, she got whatever, right? So my first choice may not be my best option. Who's going to make me the best wife and the best mother for my kids and the best, et cetera, et cetera.
But wouldn't that be your best option? I mean, best first choice?
Right, that'll be your best option. Not necessarily. Because guess what? Because guess what? Again, let's just, for the sake of conversation, right? Let's say that best option is, that we're just going to, again, for the sake of argument, right? Let's say my first choice is a 10 under all circumstances, right? Anybody who look at it be like, bruh, fine. My best option, who I think is more well-rounded, she's more mentally stable, more spiritually stable, et cetera, but she's a 7. My first choice may not be based on the things that are going to sustain me.
Are you talking
about? But that's on you. Yeah, you're looking at look. I'm not looking at.
I'm saying that. Hey, I got news for you. Sure. Don't look at it from. Let me explain something to you. You got to look at it at what men are looking at. I'm asking you this question: would you rather be his such and such? So you got to understand what's important to men.
Right.
I'm telling you what we're thinking about.
Now I have to disagree.
I'm telling you.
I have to disagree because that's how men end up in that bull. Because y'all like the way I said that bull. Because y'all looking at the looks and all that stuff instead of looking at her personality.
That's who we are. That's what starts.
That's why the divorce rate is over 50-some%. And
that may be a contributing factor, and that's why we're having the discussion. Which would you rather be?
This one's been tough for me.
Because I got news for you. Yeah. If you don't think men are looking at, that again, that's where it starts at. That's where the initial attraction starts at, right? And so let's say, for instance, he's at that point. I'm dating with a purpose, so I'm trying to get my crop of candidates or whatever you want to call it, right? And we're looking at that. I'm telling you, again, they're looking at looks. They're looking at your sweetness, your softness level, that kind of thing. They're not looking at let me put it like this. I'm not gonna say they're not looking at it below on the list, what you do for a living, how much you make, that kind of thing. That's low on the list for most men who are looking for a wife. That's not important to determine.
That's tough for me to swallow.
Maybe.
I think
I don't know.
Well, And I know y'all thought that I was going to be looking for it from it. Y'all looked at it through a different lens than I did, but I looked at it both ways. But my main way was with my husband, because I'm trying to figure out. I want to know from his side when we first started. Was I your first choice? Was I your best option? And that's when he gave me that answer. But we did talk about a lot of times your first choice definitely is not going to be your best choice, because a lot of times they may have a lot of money, or they may have, like Ted said, great job and a great background and all these different things, but they may not, when it comes down to like actually having to struggle sometime with your husband or with your wife, they may not be able to handle that type of situation.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Or,
I'm gonna save some of the rest of my answer right now. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and generate this conversation.
Okay.
Before we go to Lily, I'm gonna get a couple of comments. So Rita says, a woman knows if she is a man's first choice or an option after a few dates. All you have to do is listen carefully to his conversations and his actions towards you. I think that is a valid point.
I think so too.
Kia says, I get what Mr. Ivan is saying. That is so respectful of you. That is the mother of my first grandkid. And baby, you don't have to call me Mr. Ivan. I get it. I appreciate it. Just call me Pawpaw. Andrea Lynn says first or another.
Ooh, man, baby.
Put your husband on. Athea says, I want to be both or nothing.
She with Nikki.
Okay, you want to be. Hey, best of luck. That I'm telling you. See, there's a hope and a desire, and there's reality. And sometimes those can be two vastly different things. Let's see. BS3 Radio Ben says, sup, Queen of Things. Sean Wilson says, is this still live?
Yes, it is.
It's all live.
We live, baby.
Wait a minute. He may be a time traveler. We went to Sound Garden together. We had some talented individuals there. So, Mr. Wilson, let me just give you the date and time, just in case you're from another date and time. This is July the 27th. 2021 at 7:51 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you tell us, is it still live? Or are you from somewhere else? Are you trying to get back to the future?
If you come back at 7:52 and cuss them out, that's your business.
Right.
Hey, are you trying to get back to the future? Okay. Andrea Lee said friendship first, but what does his heart look like is my concern. Yeah. I see, let me put it like this. You can fool the rest of the people, but I didn't talk to you. So hey, you ain't ever told me nothing about no hearts. So now since it's all in front of people, it's your heart that you're concerned about. Girl, gone. Grace Robbie Wood said, hi, y'all.
Hey, Robbie.
Talking very country today. We got a howdy and a hi, y'all. All right. This is Erica. I actually started to ask Erica if she wanted to pop on this episode to give her take, considering what she does. She goes, I think it's important to connect with the heart of the person because everything else is temporary, but you have to really know if that person is going to show up for you and you will show up and will you show up for them. That's exactly. Right. And that's why sometimes our first choice doesn't have that in them, because what we decide as our first choice may not be based on those things, but that's our best option. All right. Weta says sometimes a man's first choice is not God's first choice. Fantastic point. If that's the case, I would be the second choice. And then she said the truth come out. She goes, hey, not too much, T. So yeah, she got called out. All right. Robbie says facts, preach. Okay, so we've got everybody but Lily. The floor is yours.
Y'all, I have struggled with this question. Yeah. I am not even lying. I keep going back and forth. First, off the rip, I was like, first choice. I better be his first choice. I want to be his top pick. But then when you start thinking about it more, it is one of those things where you kind of sit back and listen. Like when you're dating with a purpose, you want to make sure that person is going to be with you through it all. That's from the woman's perspective. We're not just looking at looks. like Ted says.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at the whole package. A lot of us are already thinking, is this marriage material? And would I be able to have kids with this man? All that type of stuff.
What they gonna look like?
Oh, sheesh. Now, I have looked at a dude and been like, oh.
Tell the truth.
But you start thinking that, what if the circumstances that make me the best option suddenly change? Will that take away what that relationship is? What does that look like? So I honestly, y'all, I have struggled with this. I don't really.
Well, you can apply that logic to the first choice. What if the things that make me your first choice change?
Right. Right. But that's what I'm saying. I'm playing both sides of the fence with it because I'm not sure. I want to be. I think I want to be.
Me and Alicia sitting on this fence.
I really want to be the best option.
Well,
because I think that's where I'm sticking, because I think it's one of those things where a lot of the times, just like Ted said, men are looking at looks. A lot of the times they're not thinking with their head and their heart when they're deciding on that first choice. So they're moving off of emotion, physical attraction, whatever you may have, in sexuality, whatever. And once they get to know somebody, and say you're dating multiple people, you start to kind of pick out those qualities like, okay, I'm starting to really get to know this person. I'm kind of feeling her on this level. I see her as a wife. I see her as someone that can be the mother of my children, that type of thing. So I think that's kind of where I landed. This was a tough one to chew and swallow, but
if y'all recall,
first choice sounds great.
But if y'all recall, when Ted put the question out there to us on our text messages, you both said first choice, and I said I'm leaning towards his best choice. And that's where I came from when I was talking to Ken about it. But he said that you was first and my best. But I think that best choice is always the better choice. Because most of the time you're not thinking about, like you said, about you're thinking about, like Ted said, men think differently from women. They thinking about all the, how you're looking and how fine you are and how, all these other things that
and how I'm gonna break it down in a minute. Because I again, let me just say this, okay, before I give my full answer. A man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an argument, right? So, and when I say how many different people I've come across, men that I've come across and had this conversation with, I can't tell you how many, okay? And again, let me just clarify. I didn't just say we're looking at just looks.
Yeah.
That is high on the list, right? They're also looking at things such as, am I going to get it once a week? Am I going to get it once a month?
Of course.
What's her thing? How she feeling about this, right?
You're getting when
you ain't fooling us in this dating thing. While you dating, you may be giving it out like it's Halloween candy. But then when we get married, you rationing it out like it's a pandemic.
Not like a pandemic.
So my point is they looking at all that kind of stuff, right? And so first choices and best options. First of all, it needs to be known there is a dividing line there, and they are different. It's not the same,
right?
And this was easy for me. What do I want to be? I want to be your best option. For again a number of reasons. At my age, and I'm dating folks around my age. I know you done been with a lot of folks. You done dated a lot of folks. You done whatever. Romello was your first choice. He cheated on you. He broke your heart. He on child support right now. So I know I'm not your first choice. But as we stand today, when you make that decision, I need to be your best option. And so I'm not looking. I don't got to be your first choice, but I need you to understand. I need you to recognize that I'm your best option, and I need you to govern yourselves accordingly. Let's see a couple of more comments. Sean asked, how many people, I guess he is in this date and time, how many people date with the intention to marry?
Right.
Lots of people.
I think that's right. And I think, wow, you ain't got to be funny to it, man. Lots of people. I think nowadays, I've never heard that talked about more.
Yes.
Talked about
yes.
today. People are dating with a purpose. That phrase is so hot it ain't even funny. So a lot of people. Antoinette Washington, this must be a relative out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look, but anyway, she said Alicia. Praise hands, so she agreed with that. So that must mean, Miss Washington, that you agree with the best option situation. We're not looking to date to marry. Yes, we is, man. I don't know what you're doing.
Me
yeah. Leonard Trader says men are visual. Just remember the devil wears Prada. Just saying.
Amen.
That is a fantastic point. We are visual creatures and we are simple. Simple. Don't complicate the thing. Your sweetness is my weakness and my strength. Just be sweet to me and come out that shower smelling good and with some. Yeah, okay. Says, good evening, Queen and Kings. Mildred said, that's the word. I don't know what word. Oh, Halloween candy. Put me in this conversation. You in it. Yeah. You ain't saying them, but you in it.
You in it. Come on.
If you want to jump on live, this is what I'm gonna do. This ain't no radio show. This is a podcast, but you can't call in. We didn't spend the money on that software. But what you can do, send me a message in Messenger if we're on Facebook, and I'll see about getting you the link so we can get you on board. No promises. BS3, boy, this boy right here. You know what, homeboy? I might want to get ready to send you this link because I don't know how much trouble I want to get you in. You said my wife was my best option, hands down. I'm gonna need you to explain that. So I'm gonna have to ask another aspect of this question in a moment, and I'm gonna send you a link, Mr. Sutterth, and I need you to elaborate on that. Andrea Lynn says, but I know my worth at the end of the day. And I know how to be by myself, but I turned my negatives from my divorce into positives for the second and last next husband. Let me just say this, Miss Lynn. If you keep cooking them deviled eggs like you cook them, you ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. You hear me? You just do that and you solid. Ben says not like Halloween candy. Brian says just got real in the ER. The lady next to me just popped out saying, what do I have to do to get some attention? Hopefully you will. Brian was involved in a little fender bender today, so I guess he was getting trust me. He's been talking so much trash today. He is fine. I'm trying to figure out why he's still there.
Wow.
But she said, what do I have to do to get some attention?
Not die.
She must be at the Parkland of Chicago.
Yeah.
Nikita Wilson says, so what if you have a few sweetness? Are they all your weakness? I want to be his only weakness. No, I'm talking about as an individual. Right. You know, my lady, she needs to know her sweetness is my weakness and my strength. Simple as that. You know, I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about that one who I deal with, right. That one who becomes my best option is likely going to be the sweetest one of the bunch. You know,
yeah.
If I make that decision, it is because you've proven yourself to be that.
Mm-hmm. So the good thing about a debate, y'all, is your mind can be changed.
Oh yeah,
right.
So, as an educator, I don't put on my educator hat. So as kids take a test, you got multiple choice tests. You got A, B, C, and D. Some of their first choice may be C because it's familiar to them.
Uh-huh.
The best option is A, and that's the correct option. It may not be familiar, or you might not learn that, or you might not know about it, but it's your best option. So as I look back, as I sit back and listen and hear, of course, we dated people and all that good stuff, but my first choice, if I look back over the last 5 years, my first choice would not have been my best option if I compare a couple people.
Yeah.
because you thought they were, you thought that person was going to be it. But if you look at, people's, I'm going to take it to credit. Are they in church? Are they, are they family people? But you look at that one, he's super fine. His career is popping. That was your first choice, but will that be your best option 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you changing now?
She's pondering.
I'm pondering.
All right.
This was hard because I'm telling you, at first, when we first opened up this, I was like first choice.
I did too.
But the more I've been thinking about this all week since we really decided this was going to be the topic, and I'm like, I don't know. This is kind of one of those where you like, ugh.
That's why it was a good topic.
Yes.
So Nikita Wilson says she got me. She understands now about your sweetness is my weakness and my strength. And Linda says a wise woman will pick her best option. Right. All right. Brian A-Trap says, actually, I'm at the rich folks hospital. So if that's the case, who said, what do I got to do to get some attention? That sounds like something black folks say to me. Made a great point. People normally go with what's familiar, not what's best.
What's familiar,
right? And I think as a result, that signifies to me that's their first choice, right? People will go with familiar. Familiar is oftentimes their first choice, but may not be their best option.
Boom. That's what I have to relate it to.
Kind of like always dating the same type of person, but getting the same result, and you wondering, why do I keep getting the same result?
Same result.
Because you're going after what's familiar.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a little bit of break from the topic and get to our next segment. And Brittany said facts on that.
Hey, Britt.
She was kind of Facebook being fast earlier this week.
All right,
okay.
Some people who pick their best option are not truly satisfied because they truly wanted their first choice and tend to still be looking for someone who can be a better option. I have to respectfully disagree with that because I think your best option is going to deliver. Now that doesn't mean we got to understand that doesn't mean that we're going to be right. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that we're going to pick right. Hell, our pickers are off, a lot of us, right? So that doesn't mean we're going to be right. But in all honesty, if you pick what is truly your best option based on the things that you need to thrive in a relationship, chances are they're going to deliver. I think it's more likely that your first choice is going to be a bust than your best option. Brittany makes a good point. We often repeat cycles. Exactly. And I'm gonna hope I can remember to get back to that topic because that's part of the breakdown that I have to add another element to this. So help remind me to come back to that, Brittany. Terry says, go for what's best for you. That's best option to me. And Brittany, she did not deny her being fast. She just said LOLT hush because she was. And I checked on it too. All right. The streets are talking. Lily, hopefully by next week we have our music productions again. By the way, I have not shouted out our AV team, our AV squad, Kedak Productions and Kiki and Golden Eye Creations and Chico. And I did commission him to come up with a little short theme song for this particular segment, The Streets are Talking. So hopefully we'll have that by next show. So Lily, the streets are talking. What the hell they saying?
What the hell they saying?
Oh my God.
So the first story that I have that a lot of people have been talking about on Facebook is Dr. Dre. So as you know, Dr. Dre has been going through a nasty divorce. So he's been having a lot of issues going on with that ex-wife.
Is that the one that $300,000 a month? And
yes, and that's the story that we're gonna cover.
Oh,
dang.
Yes. So last week, a judge ordered him to pay $293,000 a month to his ex-wife and spousal support.
How much money must you have?
That's what I think that's the part I can't understand.
What percentage? So let's just say,
I already did the math. I got the math.
Okay, what percentage is that?
So $300,000 a month is roughly about $3.5 million a year.
Yeah.
But Dr. Dre is worth $800 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's today, right now, not including what money he'll make in the future.
He worth how much?
800 million.
Yes. So
Well,
she
if you take
actually
800 divided by 3.5, that means he got enough to pay her for 228 years. Now I don't feel so bad.
Now you don't feel bad.
You shouldn't have been on that chronic.
But she was actually asking for $2 million a month. That's what she wanted.
Wasn't gonna get that, homie.
She wasn't gonna get the $2 million a month, but my God, today she got $293,000 a month, so totaling $3.5 million a year that she will be receiving. He is to start paying that as of August the 1st, so he'll be on that next week. He has to make these monthly payments until the party receiving support remarries and/or either party dies. So
that's a whole nother
remarry.
Yeah, we getting $300,000 a month, nigga. I don't care. We just gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend forever.
Till I'm 80.
You can't even spend the night over here.
Okay.
Till I'm 80.
Bobby said that's why I stay broke.
So
hating the brother.
He wanted to go ahead and just pay her a one-time fee of $2 million, and the judge just said, you're gonna pay her spousal support. So she will start to get those coins next week. And I said, sis is never remarrying, so he better get ready to go ahead and start paying that unless something unfortunately happens to one of them.
Yeah, Nikita said she ain't never getting remarried. I mean, never ever.
At all.
Yeah, she probably cussed the first nigga out to try to holler at her. She probably gonna say, "Hey, he like, I just said hi." Yeah, she don't want none of the smoke.
Next story. Y'all got something else on it? What?
I thought it was a little much until I calculated how much how much it was a year, and then how much he's worth. And then Dr. Dre, he's not done earning money.
Right.
So she's not gonna see any of that.
But
well, you don't know if they just like in child support and stuff like that, she may be able to go back to court and say
get more.
You can't do that for spousal support. Just child support.
Do we do spousal support in Texas?
I don't know.
Yes.
We do it everywhere.
We do it everywhere. Yes, you do.
I thought it was everywhere.
You do it everywhere.
Okay, and you can't. But you can go back and ask for more child support. You can't go back and ask for more spousal support.
No.
It's based on where you was when we broke up. It's based on that.
They calculated on that, and their kids are grown. So.
Yeah. Okay. And Nikita says whoever she date will happy to be a side piece.
I'm telling you.
I ain't even got to be a side piece. Hell, I'll be an appetizer. Shit.
Sorry, that was a hard laugh.
All right. Nikki, you was about to say something about this, weren't you?
No, I was just saying I don't really know a whole lot about his divorce situation, but I know that they were getting a divorce. But wasn't there physical abuse and other things that came out regarding all his relationship?
It was said that he was abusing her physically and also cheating on her, apparently. So I think there was a number of things going on. But
are you saying?
And he did it to Michelle A, Nikki.
Yeah, I know he did the stuff to Michelle A. Yeah. It was.
He beat her down.
Yes, yeah. That's why she has the hearing loss, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Shut up, Ted. Don't do that.
Let me ask you this.
I was just trying to make sure I was talking about the right couple.
But are you saying?
Yeah, Michelle did have a past with him, and she kind of talked about that on her. I want to say it was her unsung or something. Yeah. Where she talked about him.
So are you saying that because of the reason why you got a divorce, that your spousal support should go up or down based on?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just making sure that I knew the details because I couldn't remember all the details regarding the divorce.
That's probably why she got that $300,000 a month.
But she deserved that though. Yeah, you gonna get that. And that cheating, mental abuse.
All right, A-Trap said that's why I keep a pic of me and OJ chopping for shoes. And Terry said, All right,
Oh
Lily,
my
what you got
God.
now? What else is the streets saying?
All right, so a little bit of Olympic news. So Simone Biles has withdrawn from the U.S. Olympics of her first event. So hate to hear this because I think they've just made it so hard for her out here
Yeah.
with these different stories that we've been hearing. But
Mm-hmm.
she's withdrawn from the team. Final competition due to a medical issue. A lot of people are thinking that it is something that is mental, like she's going through mental health issues and kind of seeking to gain some help with that because of what she's been posting. So a couple of days ago, she wrote on Instagram that she feels like the weight of the world on her shoulders sometimes.
Right.
And in full, she said it wasn't an easy day or my best, but I got through it. I truly do feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders at times. I know I brush it off and make it seem like pressure doesn't affect me, but damn, sometimes it's hard. The Olympics the Olympics is no joke, but I'm happy my family was able to be with me virtually. They mean the world to me. So that's what got a lot of people thinking that it's more mental health issues. That is the reason why she's withdrawn from them. So shout out to her.
Simone.
I hope that she gets the mental help that she needs. Because once you're in a bad space like that and having all eyes on you, and it's basically being all eyes on her. I actually had the conversation last night with Brandon about the way they've been scoring her. And some people, they're saying, oh, she's too talented to score her fairly. And that's not right. Like, I said, how can you do that? Like,
that's not a new story as far as that is concerned. In fact, even in just the competitions leading up to the Olympics, they say they have a Simone Biles scoring system and then an everybody else scoring system. And it's like, in order for her to score high enough to win at these competitions, she's got to take more risk. So degree of difficulty is a thing in gymnastics. And so she's got to take it to the nth degree to be able to get a decent score. And she's like, that's dangerous for me,
Absolutely.
And so that's part of the reason she popped out. She goes, I wasn't feeling it. She goes, I was a little uncomfortable doing some of these moves. And if my head ain't right, then I know I could get hurt,
Absolutely.
seriously hurt. And when you do activities like that, whether you're a race car driver, whether you're a rodeo rider, whether you're some of these activities, if you ain't right mentally, you racing dirt bikes. If your head ain't right, you don't need to do it because you're gonna end up seriously hurt.
Yeah.
So the Simone Biles, and I got news for you. There are a lot in the gymnastics community, black and white, that are upset as hell at the scorers and the judges and some of these governing bodies for gymnastics because they have almost openly stated, yeah, we judging her a little harder because she can do it. For her to do and I'm gonna make up a move, but for her to do a triple lux is easier than for Nastasia, whoever, to do it. That shouldn't have anything to do with it.
But I was gonna say, because that's not fair to her.
And in every story you've seen, medical issues in quotation marks, because everybody knows it's nothing medically wrong with her. It's something mentally going on. And that could be under a medical umbrella, but it's just another thing of, us as women, and then I'm going to go even further, us as Black women having to be a step ahead, having to always compete at a higher level. So it's kind of, I see where she's coming from. And I'm with her. If you can't take my talent, I'll take my talent out. Period.
And that's
so
what
Naomi Osaka in tennis did the exact same thing because she's like, I'm not comfortable in these situations. So if I got to go in front of the media with all this other pressure on me, I'm just out then,
Yeah. And I think that is big of them to say, I'm putting myself first, forget everything else. I'll just bow out.
What is that?
Shannon said, whenever it's African American that excels, they move the bar to meet their mediocre. Right on.
Yeah.
And we got to get a topic to get Shannon on. We've got to have her on. And we want to promote her show too. The T. I don't know if she's still doing that or not, but we got to get that promoted too.
Yeah.
And then Justin said, that's just crazy. It's sad how they do us. Yeah. They should be. And then Terry says, Negro rule. All right. And now we'll get back into this topic, first choice or best option. And with that, we bring on the owner and CEO, the Jerry Jones of BS3 Radio Group.
A lot younger though.
What's going on, Trey?
What's going on? What's going on? Glad to be on the show.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you. Let's go. It's been since week 1 since you've been on, huh?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Let me see if I can go back to his comment. The reason why I had him to come on, he says, my wife was my best option, hands down. Now, that is a dangerous sentiment because a lot of these women want to be the first choice. So I need you to go ahead and dig your grave. Go.
Well, she was my best option because I was going up in a relationship. I was marrying up. So he helped.
Yeah, he did.
She has helped me and in the past has helped me just to better myself. It's my best friend. So it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what are your thoughts on how a lot of people see this first choice thing? You've been listening to the show and stuff like that. What is your rebuttal to them about? I want to be the first choice.
It only matters if you're the last choice. It don't really matter if you the first, because if it don't last, it's the one that lasts.
I heard that.
And the last.
Yeah, that's good.
I heard that.
Hold on, let me update my Facebook. Let me be your last choice.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow, that's a good one right there. That's a good one there. And Justin said, Ben, what's good, sir? HF said, I support the young sister wholeheartedly. Terry said, speak, brother. So he agreed. Justin said, wow, that's a fact. She agrees. Centrica Sheree Mitchell says, best option and first choice. I am, but it doesn't matter because in the end, I was married. Right. Well, I think Ms. Mitchell, that supports what Ben said. You know, as long as I'm your last choice, you know, there are no more choices to be made after me. So I think at the end of the day, that puts the nail in the coffin of the thing. To be perfectly honest with you. All right. So Ben, where do the people need to send their love offerings to?
Cash App. $sign BS3 Radio. Wow. Day or night. Right. It don't matter.
All right, sir. You want to go ahead and give a little plug to the forecast?
Definitely. This is perfect timing too, because next week we'll be reviewing Summer of Soul, which you can see right behind me. Questlove directed and produced documentary talking about Black Woodstock that a lot of us didn't even know existed.
Right.
So this is going to be a good one.
I cannot wait to do this show. This, again, the forecast is a show that I'm on, Ben is on, H-Rap is on, and Mayhem is on. And we had to miss this week, but we will be back next week with this Summer of Soul review. And I enjoyed watching it and got so much to say about it. So I can't wait.
What is Summer of Soul on?
It's on Netflix.
Hulu.
No, Hulu.
Okay, I have to watch it.
That's your homework assignment.
Yeah,
that's watching. So next week y'all can tune in, join in with us.
Okay,
good conversation.
I got it.
All right, Trey, we appreciate you, sir.
All right, appreciate you having me on.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So I talked about whose comment earlier. Somebody made a comment about repeating
cycle.
Brittany did.
Breaking the cycles. Or
okay, there we go. We often repeat cycles. Yeah. So I kind of had that down. I said, in order to get to the root of the issue, you need to know where it started. You the one that chose Jodeci instead of Boys to Men. So again, sometimes we repeat those cycles because we keep going with first choice instead of our best option. And sometimes I want the Jodeci. They want the Jodeci, you know, or I want the J-Lo. Instead, I need to be with the, you know, that other option. I don't have a good example right now. J-Lo, I kind of got lost in that little picture I saw J-Lo this morning on the
Oh my God.
and it's in my mind right now. So hold on, I need to get rebaptized right quick.
What about Esther?
Yeah, there you go. Esther might have been the fish-eye food, might have been the best choice.
Oh.
Yeah, that may be your best choice.
Yutty. Yeah. Like boy say yut.
Okay. So again, so how about that? She says we often repeat the cycles. How does that play into it? Getting into the root of it. Maybe people hadn't thought through that enough and keep up. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are listening to this, a lot of people we know that would say, I keep on ending up in the same situation. Mm-hmm. Lily, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's where we have to kind of take a step back and really think with our head and think what is going to be best for me. What is, and it's almost like, I think somebody said it earlier, choose what's best for you, which is your best option. So kind of sitting back and just digesting, what do I want? What am I looking for? And going with that, because I know
that's a great point.
Yeah, I know a lot of times you say off the rip, somebody presents you with something, you like, oh, this. And you sit back with that item that you picked and be like, I shouldn't have picked this. Like, maybe I should have went with this. I should have pumped the brakes and thought through my answer.
Yeah, it happens. It happens every time I go to French Quarter Bistro and I pick the wrong smoothie flavor, margarita flavor, or daiquiri flavor. Daiquiri flavor. And I'd be like, dang, I should have got the watermelon or whatever. So Lily makes a good point, and what it made me write down is, do you even know what you want? So can you don't know if you want the first choice or the best option because you don't know the difference. You don't know the difference between the first choice and the best option. Do you even know what your best options are? So that is a fantastic point. Justin says, yes, it was great, and it was at the same time we landed on the moon. I don't know what he's talking about.
The movie.
Is he talking about the movie?
Oh, the movie. Okay, Summer Soul. Okay, gotcha. All right, Miss Richard says, who is the best you can build with? Both visions align, and you help encourage each other to grow. All right. Justin says watermelon. Mika, how does this play? You keep repeating the same cycles.
I think what's really bringing me to the other side is once I kind of realized that even as an educator, even with teaching, you go with the familiar, but is it the best option for your students? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking the familiar doesn't take work. And a lot of people don't want to do work when you're trying to get in relationships and trying to pick the best person. And so sometimes that person is your best option. Mm-hmm. But either I've embarrassed myself with them, I have to do some work to get back at them, I have to do some work to be their. They may be I might be their best option, but I need them to be my best option as well. Mm-hmm. So it's the work that it requires sometimes. Mm-hmm. If it's familiar, I already know what I need to do to get with him. He likes this, he likes that, and we boom, 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 and that works for 6 months, and then I'm back at square one with that same person. So it's the familiar that probably gets in the way of picking the best choice or the best option, or getting the first choice or the best option.
Right. True. Okay, so Justin put on there, it is because we get too comfortable, and that's off of what Mika said, and I wrote the note down, comfort zone, based on that. And the wise man once said, he goes, in order to become comfortable, you must first become uncomfortable. So that's talking about the work that you got to put in, Ultimately, we want to be comfortable, and where we're comfortable at is in a relationship that has some longevity. It has plenty of love. It has a whole bunch of peace. It's functional. It's healthy, et cetera, et cetera. That's where we want to be. But in order to get there, you got to be uncomfortable first, and far too often we fall back on what's comfortable. So I think comfort zone and comfortability is a fantastic point. Mm-hmm. Nicole, what are your thoughts about Nicole being in the same cycle?
I agree. I think that we do sometimes go for the familiar because that's what we know, and that's definitely not a good choice. Trust me, I know. I've done it multiple times. Tried to date people that were familiar, try to have relationships with them. based on other relationships that I had because it was familiar to me, but it didn't give me any good results. So when I did meet someone that was a little bit different than the norm, then that I was kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of.
Who live in an
You're
industrial
unsure.
zone right now?
Huh?
Who got 18 wheelers driving by their
Oh, I
house?
don't
Right
know.
now?
It's not me.
That's a motorcycle driving by my window.
Oh, they were driving hard.
We look out the window, tell them we're doing a podcast around here.
We're doing a podcast around here.
So Nikki, what you trying to say is you dated too many dope boys, and you.
Oh,
Oh my God,
Too many.
Nikki, you with that?
All right. So Miss Mitchell says Mika is correct. Comfort zones in the workplace and relationships will cause so much stress. Yep.
Yeah, but it's seriously though. It is that comfort thing. But you gotta find when you can find somebody that is different. It does take work, and you are gonna get there though. So don't just go with what's familiar. Sometimes you gotta, like Ted said, you're gonna be uncomfortable. You gotta be uncomfortable. So
yeah, and when I say uncomfortable, I mean uncomfortable because it's stretching you, right? You know,
exactly. That's what I'm
not
saying.
because it is mentally taxing. I'm not saying stay in a situation like that. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not saying stay in a situation that is not good and healthy for you. But if you're just uncomfortable, really take a look at it and take an honest look at yourself. See, oftentimes we're real good at telling other folks what they need to do and looking at their situation and knowing that it's crystal clear. But whenever it comes to looking at our situation, we tend to justify our actions, right? The human mind is rigged to self-justify. And so, from a spiritual standpoint, biblical standpoint, all that, it often talks about self-examination. So examine yourself and see if that really is the deal.
Right.
Justin said Nicole Dawkins Bristow was in the trap.
Yep.
She probably don't know what the trap is, man. But okay.
It's going down.
Yeah, I was in there.
All right. So that brings us to the end of another fantastic show. First choice or best option. I don't know if we solved anything, but I think we generated some fantastic conversation. And hopefully this will improve somebody. If we could just get one, that gets a benefit out of it. As far as I'm concerned, we've done our job.
Yes.
And with that said, we're going to go around the horn, starting with Lily for any closing thoughts, anything that you want to share, anything that the folks need to know, whatever, to close this thing out.
No, I just appreciate the conversation. Again, this one was a tough one for me. It was on me all week. And it seemed like every time I woke up, I was at a different space with it. But just listening to the different perspectives and knowing that when you are really thinking through situation, are you really going with your first choice or your best option? And best option is always the way to go. So I think it was kind of easier talking through it with you guys. Helped me definitely solidify my stance on this.
Right on. Mika.
The great thing, like I said earlier, about a good debate is being able to bring somebody to your side. And it's healthy, and it's, it helps somebody think about it in a different perspective and through a different lens. So if my husband out there watching, like Ben say, I need to be your last choice and
best choice.
Option.
Best option.
And chances are, if you're his best option, you will be his last choice.
Boom.
I said what I said.
That's it. That's all.
Rochelle.
Oh.
Right.
Did anybody tell you to put that out there?
They putting your government out there.
Just in case you got warrants. They know. Just in case you got warrants.
They already got no warrants, baby.
They shooting that right now. They getting that thing that's gonna bust that door down like this. So
they're gonna be coming down and say, wee.
Oh my God.
So Papa gonna run to the back, flushing stuff down the toilet.
Hashtag.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Right. Dang.
But no, I enjoyed this topic too. I think it's a great topic. I think that everybody has some great comments regarding the first choice or best option. And again, from the first day that you sent us the text message, I put in there that I'm leaning towards best option because I always felt like the best option was the better option versus being the first choice. Even though Ken said I was the first choice and the best option, I couldn't have been a first choice because I know that he dated multiple people like anybody else have. So, but anyway, I enjoyed the topic, learned a lot from other individuals who commented, and I am glad to be back on the air.
Right on. All right. A few comments before I give my closing. Justin, is that a symbol that he gave? A finger
Is
up?
it a kissy face?
No, I think it's like one of these, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Don't tell the business.
And we just said awesome podcast, family. Thank you.
Thank
Miss Sheree Mitchell says nice listening. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your participation, definitely. So for me, again, I think, we really came to a pretty decent consensus for the majority of the viewers today. We still got some first choices out there that's going to die on that hill. Like I need to be the first choice. But, I think Ben said it well. And one of my aspects of this, if we had time to get to it, I was going to say, does it really matter? And I think at the end of the day, he basically answered that question that says that as long as I'm your last choice, it really doesn't matter, And I think that's more than anything is that we need to, whenever we're getting into these relationships, especially the committed long-term relationships, hopefully marriages, that we do what's necessary to stick it out, and make it last or whatever. And in order to do that, how you start it, a lot of times meaning how you made the decision, how you arrived at your decision is going to go a long way toward whether or not you got some longevity in you or not. So at the end of the day, again, self-reflection and just figure out exactly what you want, what's best for you. You got to know that in order to be able to, number one, identify it in someone else and determine if they are capable of delivering it to you. And with that said, we want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Queen3 King. And right here is where I'm supposed to say, join us next week, Tuesday at 7:30 p.m., where we discuss, and I have no idea what we're going to discuss.
My birthday.
I was about to say, we're going to celebrate Nikki and Alicia sometime this month, maybe next week or the week after that, and Mama, because we got all three of them.
Yeah.
I ain't celebrating nothing. It's business. It's show business.
Like my grandbaby say, not nice.
All right. Hey, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, refer us to a friend. Please. At the very least, you're going to get an hour worth of laughter, if nothing else. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to make at least 1 point that's going to change your life every week. So again, thank you for tuning in. We most definitely appreciate it.
Wait, Nick, what the heck are you doing?
Dance?
You don't know.
See, you got to learn to ignore it, folks. See, she's an educator, so sometimes special education teaches you that you just ignore them sometimes, because if they don't, they'll keep going. See how she kept going when you said something. You got to ignore them and keep rolling. But all right, we will see y'all next week. We appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Are we smiling or what are we doing?
The Queen Bee has arrived.